The following is a special sports presentation of the Cincinnati Bengals.
Hi again, everybody, and welcome to Bengals Weekly. I'm Dan Horde. He is Dave Lapham. This Sunday, it's off to Oakland, probably for the last time, as the Bengals take on the Raiders. A couple of things stand out from last week's game against Baltimore. Number one, the Bengals obviously had a new quarterback starting in Ryan Finley, but perhaps more importantly, they had the old Joe Mixon back.
They did. They made some adjustments up front in their blocking schemes. They ran more gap, where they were down blocking and pulling linemen rather than just trying inside, outside zone, mash people. And it worked. They got Joe Mixon out to the perimeter. They got some lanes for him to take advantage of, rush for 114 yards, carried the ball 30 times. And that helps Ryan Finley. And the more they can get Joe Mixon established, the better it is for Ryan Finley. And Ryan Finley's debut, two tragedies. You don't want to pick six. You don't want to lose a fumble for a touchdown. But with that said, he saw a lot. In his first NFL start, he will not see any blitz or pressure package the rest of the season that he didn't see against the Baltimore Ravens. So, he has got a whole volume of encyclopedia to reference after just one start. And there's something good to be said about that. And I thought he hung in there and diagnosed it pretty well. He got him in a lot of good plays, got him in the right protection a lot of times. He's a smart guy.
Now time for this week's Clutch Performance. It is brought to you by Bridgestone Tires, clutch performance in the world.
Finley waiting for a shotgun snap back at the 11-yard line. Hopkins fires it back. Finley throws into the end zone for Eifert. He leaps. He comes down with the ball. Touchdown! Bengals! As he used his size to go up and over Brandon Carr and haul in Ryan Finley's first career touchdown pass.
Time for our weekly visit with Bengals head coach Zac Taylor. What did Ryan Finley do well, and where did he look like a first-time starter last Sunday?
Well, we knew there'd be some first-time mistakes from him, but I thought there was a lot of positives. He got us in some good protection checks and run game checks, and he was poised throughout the game. Even when we had 2 scores for turnovers, his demeanor never really changed, and gave us a chance with some scramble opportunities that didn't always pan out the way we want them to, but a lot of encouraging things that he showed in this last game.
Joe Mixon ran for 114. The team ran for more than 150. What did that show you on Sunday?
Well, I think that's 2 weeks in a row now where we've had our best rushing performances of the season. We've identified some things that give us some advantages against the defense. Just having some continuity there at the offensive line has really helped us. Those guys are starting to get into a rhythm with each other, and that's been encouraging to see.
Have you found the scheme that works best for this group?
I think we're headed there. We're giving ourselves a chance. Again, we're not doing well enough in the red zone. That's really what's hurting us. But I think that overall, you can look at a lot of drives we sustained over the course of this game, and we just got to do a better job punching the ball in the end zone.
You made a surprising personnel move this week, letting Preston Brown go with 2 years left on his deal. Why?
We need some guys to step up at that position, and we felt like we need to look at some new faces, and that's been a position where we need some leadership to step up, and it starts with the consistency. We're still looking for that one player to step up that position and be consistent and then turn into a leader for us. And so we're just going to keep shaking it up until we figure it out.
Rookie Jermaine Pratt is playing more. He was in there for about 50% of the snaps last week. Is he trending up?
There was still some room for improvement with a lot of our young players. There were some good things he did in that game and some things that we need to clean up.
Turning to the Raiders, 4-12 last year, 5-4 so far this year. Where have they improved?
Their run game on offense, certainly they upgraded their offensive line, and their rushing attack has been really the top half of the league here early to start the season. And the quarterback's playing with a lot of confidence. Defensively, they're dealing with a lot of injuries just like anybody else is. And so, we got to do our best to get back on track this weekend.
Their head coach is John Gruden. You played for him, at least in training camp, as a rookie quarterback in Tampa Bay. What stands out about John Gruden from that experience?
Well, he's an entertaining fella, and he loves to break news for the Bengals, as he did in this offseason with Brian Callahan. But he's a great coach. We've all worked with a lot of people on that staff. It's a good coaching staff. They've done a great job getting it turned around from a tough year last year to a positive year this year, and they've really done a nice job.
Brian Callahan is one of 2 coaches on your staff that was part of the Raiders staff last year. Is that helpful at all this week?
Well, it goes both ways. they feel like they have insight into what we're doing, and we feel like we got insight into what they're doing, and you just got to get out there and execute.
Best of luck this week.
Thank you.
We'll put Zach on the telestrator when Bengals Weekly returns. Bengals Weekly is brought to you in part by Fifth Third Bank, on the field, in the weight room, and in the community. Fifth Third Bank and the Bengals are driving to better. Learn more about the drive to better at Bengals.com/53. And by McDonald's, the greater Cincinnati area McDonald's owner-operators are proud sponsors of the Cincinnati Bengals.
Welcome to my favorite part of the show. You're going to learn something you didn't know about the Ravens matchup last week with Bengals head coach Zach Taylor.
So here, early in the game, we call the man beater. We insert the receiver sometimes here, Alex Erickson, in the run game to dig out a safety. So we're trying to complement that with a play action. Tyler Boyd is going to occupy this safety and run a through route. Alex Erickson is going to insert, hoping that he'll trigger, and we can win on a high cross coming across, and then Auden Tate's going to clear out on a go route here. So as you can see, we fake in the backfield here. It's 7-man protection. We put an extra lineman in the game there at tight end to help us with that defensive end. And you can see here, Finley drops back, and Alex Erickson, he gets a little jammed up there. So the intent of the play is not great at the beginning. But what Ryan does a great job of is taking off and running and getting us a first down. So you call a play, hoping for a big shot down the field for an explosive. It doesn't go the way you want. We got to be able to separate at all three of these spots. But now he was able to make something out of nothing, and you get a first down, and makes it a little easier to call plays that way.
And with the pressure they're playing, man, once he sees their backs turned, those eyes are away from him, he knows he's going to gain some yards.
You find a crease, you take off, and
everybody's turned their backs.
That's right. The one thing we got to improve right here is this ball security. Let's tuck that ball away in our outside arm and get out of bounds. But that was encouraging to see a 15-yard gain on something that, you might have just thrown the ball away on.
Sure.
The next one we have here is a third down. If you go back here, it was 3rd and 10 on the 40-yard line again. First drive of the third quarter. We're down 18 points. Okay, not where we want to be, but we got a big third down here to start the drive. We motion across. What we're going to do is they present a lot of different pressure looks on 3rd and 10.
Yep.
And so we're going to clear these guys out the numbers, Auden and Alex, and then TB is going to sit over the ball, run through 10 yards, and be able to settle in that area. If they were to zero blitz us or give us some one-on-ones outside, take your best look and let's take a shot and try to get a big explosive play. Mm-hmm. If they give you a 2-safety defense, which they ended up disguising, Earl does a great job disguising. It looks clear as day. Cover 1 right here, some sort of single high look. On the snap, you see him get to a 2-safety look. Ryan does a great job recognizing that, sliding, finding TB over the ball versus 2 safeties, and delivering exactly where we want to go versus that look. So, again, it's challenging. These guys are really a bunch of first-round picks there on the back end, doing a great job working together. And Ryan does a good job sliding. Yeah, you see all these guys doing a nice job up front. Tyler Eifert looking for work. Gio doing a great job picking up the pressure and creating an explosive play there on 3rd and 10. So that was a big deal for us. And then here we go late in the game. You can see Jesse Bates with an interception. So, they got Robert Griffin in there at quarterback. Obviously, we got to be better here. We got to stay on our feet. But there's potential for a big play right there. And Jesse steps up. These are things we've been emphasizing to our guys is we got to create more turnovers. We've been focusing on practice, trying to encourage these guys to keep stripping at the ball and get it out. Jesse steps up, makes a play here, creates some positive momentum for us. What I like to see is bodies on bodies here, trying to let us go score. Whenever we do get a turnover, expect to go score. So that was encouraging to see from Jesse there.
And he tight-roped that sideline. He turned into a 20-yard return, 2 first downs you don't have to worry about. By flip the field, he just balances himself and picks up 20 yards for you. You don't have to concern yourself with offensively. Good play.
Yeah, it was a good play by him.
Hey, Bengals fans, it's the McDonald's Pounder Play of the Game, brought to you by the Quarter Pounder and Double Quarter Pounder with cheese. So tackle your toughest appetite and pound one today.
It's another toss sweep to Joe Mixon. Here he goes, 35-40, lowers the boom and runs out to the 45, taking Earl Thomas with him.
What they did there, pin the defensive tackles, pin the big boys, then make them run and pursue. Try to fatigue them.
Coming up, last week Joe Mixon had a great game, and earlier in the week he did something great for kids. We'll show you when Bengals Weekly returns.
Show your Bengals spirit by joining the Hoo Day Ladies, presented by Kleenex, Kotex, and Cottonelle. Members will receive exclusive club gear, access to special club events, and so much more. For more information and to sign up, visit Bengals.com/ladies.
This week's Drive to Better is presented by Fifth Third Bank, where it pays to Who Day.
So what drives you to be the best you can be?
Just being complete, being a complete person. I'm definitely very competitive on the field, and one thing I'm not afraid of is learning on how to become better in other areas, you know what I'm saying? So, like I said, being the best me and getting people to strive to be the best them. I love seeing people happy. I love seeing people competitive nature, but at the same time, like when it comes to me and somebody else, I always want to win.
You topped 100 yards this Sunday against the Ravens. How big was the offensive line play in helping create holes for you?
I thought it was huge. Just the way they came and was dedicated the whole week and took pride of, the run game. And I thought the coaches was consistent with the run game, didn't give up on it, and things I thought Ryan did a great job with communication, identification, pointing out where the blitz is coming from. I definitely thought we made a huge jump from week 1 to now, so hopefully we can just keep building on it and staying consistent.
How does it make you better and this team better when there is a balance in the passing and rushing attack?
That's what pretty much gets the pass game going, is the run.
He rolls out to the right. He's looking for Mixon. He throws. Touchdown!
Just try to find mismatches up in the defense, and everybody's just got to be dialed in on all cylinders. And when we can get them plays up and running and stuff, we usually do a great job of moving the ball and just being successful, period.
You've stayed busy off the football field, last week hosting a bowling event with the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Cincinnati. How important is it for you to be able to give back to the community like you have?
Just being able to give back and share, what people didn't really have and what I've never had, and finally able to, give kids opportunity and stuff like that. I think it's a good thing. And
thank you for coming.
It's all good, little man. Thank you for coming.
Hopefully one of them kids, take this on, and hopefully they could do it for somebody else in the future. That's what it's all about.
Uh-oh. Look what y'all got. You like this one?
That's just what I love doing. I love giving back to the little kids. It's a blessing to be in this position.
So we know you're competitive. How serious were you taking the bowling? How many strikes did you have, or were you more of a spare guy that night?
I think I was definitely more of a spare guy that night.
I'm gonna be sparing all day.
I thought I was pretty consistent with what I was doing on the bowling alley, but I gotta be better. I'm definitely competitive though when it comes to stuff like that.
This weekend, team's heading to Oakland. You get a chance to head back to the Bay Area. How excited are you to see some family and friends?
I'm super excited. Feels like I'm coming home. It's something that I've never done before. Never played in the Bay Area. I'm definitely excited to see my mom, see my dad, brothers and sisters, all my family and friends. They all get to come out to the game. And I know they're all excited, but like I said, it's a business trip, and I'm definitely gonna make the most of it, so can't wait.
This season, every time the Bengals complete a drive of 53 or more yards, Fifth Third Bank will donate $530 to student loan relief. Enter for the chance to win at 53.com/Bengals. Now time for this week's X's and O's segment. It's Lap's turn to be an artist. We go to the telestrator to check out this week's opponent, the Oakland Raiders.
The Raiders. I'll tell you, they got a running back, Josh Jacobs. He wasn't even the man in Alabama, but he's the man with the Raiders. Everybody's just going to block a guy. Nothing fancy. It's man blocking is all it is. Mano against mano. And Jacobs just going to read it out. Right here, guard does a good job. He's going to try to get the linebacker to the ground, gets him on the ground. He's going to be in a little bit of a scramble mode. Not going to arm tackle him. He's going to break that. Widen everybody. Unblocked safety. Watch this action. This is why the Chiefs are struggling. Good running backs are going to say, I'm not going to let one man, I'm going to make that guy miss. First guy miss. Boosh. Nice tackle. Runs right by him. 51-yard gain. He's not going to run out of bounds. He's going to come back in bounds and punish you for extra yards. Very physical. All right, let's take a look defensively. Mayowa, 7 quarterback sacks. Farrell has 3 quarterback sacks, 3.5 quarterback sacks. What they're going to decide to do here, they're going to blitz defensive back, drop him off into coverage because Joe Flacco, not real mobile. Joe Flacco's looking for his tight end. His tight end releases. Farrell's got him on the zone blitz. He's got him covered. Takes him away. Nice help, running back. Nice help on the rush guy. Joe Flacco's not that mobile. Sack, strip, fumble. Big play. But that Raiders defensive football team.
One of the most improved teams in the NFL at 5-4 so far this year.
No doubt.
All right, time now for this week's Bengals trivia question. Last week, Lamar Jackson was awesome for the Ravens. He had a perfect passer rating in that game. Our trivia question is about the opposite. The Bengals were the first team in NFL history to hold 2 quarterbacks to a 0 passer rating in the same game. Who were they?
One was my hero.
We'll have the answer when Bengals Weekly returns.
It's time to get to know your Bengals. What was your first job?
I was a lifeguard growing up in high school. That was the first go-to.
A lifeguard in high school, summer job.
I worked in an ice cream shop named Friendly's. Safe to say I did not belong there at all. I worked at Golden Corral. I was a cashier.
My first job was at Zaxby's.
First job, selling newspaper on a Sunday. Miami Herald, right on the corner.
My first job was working for my dad as a bounty hunter. If you've ever seen the TV show Dog the Bounty Hunter, I was one of the kids chasing after the people.
McDonald's, yeah. I worked there maybe 2 weeks, and yeah, I went to my dad, told him, nah, this ain't for me. I need to find something else to do.
I worked at McDonald's for like 2 days. I don't even think I went back the third day. A lot of respect for people that work at customer service and fast food restaurants. A lot of respect because I couldn't do it.
I worked at a baseball shop. It was called Diamond 9 in Austintown, Ohio. We sold baseball gear, training, baseball training, physical training, and speed and conditioning.
I used to be a little hustler, so like I would sell or like draw pictures of people. Like I draw pictures of women in my mom's shop and make them look extremely pretty and sell them the pictures that I drew of them. So that was my first hustle. And then I used to sell like used toys to kids in the neighborhood. And but I always been like on my grind.
Welcome back. Time to answer this week's Bengals trivia question. The Bengals were the first team in NFL history to hold 2 quarterbacks to a 0 passer rating in the same game. Who were they, Dave Lapham?
Incredible. December 12th, 1976. Joe Willie Namath threw 4 interceptions. His replacement, Richard Todd, threw 2 more interceptions, both a 0 quarterback rating. I remember that game because we went 10-4 that season, didn't even make the playoffs with a 10-4 record. Frustrating.
That was Joe Namath's last game in a Jets uniform, a frustrating way for it to end. Here's where you can find us on our Bengals radio shows this week. We're on location Wednesday and Friday. On Wednesday night, we'll be at the Montgomery Inn Boathouse for the Bengals Game Plan Show presented by Bud Light. That's 6 to 8. And then on Friday afternoon from 2:30 to 5:30, we'll be at Buffalo Wings and Rings, the Finneytown location, for the Bengals Pep Rally Show. Now time for this week's Sideline Report, brought to you by Tri-Health. The Bengals got some guys back last week after the bye. John Miller in particular made a big difference up front.
John Miller played well. He came back from that groin injury. It was good to have Carl Lawson back as well from that hamstring problem. He's trying to make sure that doesn't reoccur. The bye week, helped those guys. They lost Drew Sample, though, to an ankle injury that looked pretty severe. He was walking around this week with a boot and crutches, and so we'll see. Giovanni Bernard went out with a knee injury during the game, but did come back in the football game. So I think he'll be going this week.
It's the Bengals and Raiders in Oakland. Let's get to Lap's keys to the game.
Well, obviously the run game is going to be a big deal, Dan. Build on that 114-yard running game by Joe Mixon. Try to even make it more efficient. A lot of carries to get to that 114 yards. Josh Jacobs, the rookie running back for the Raiders, 811 yards, 6th best in the NFL, 7 rushing touchdowns, 6th best in the NFL, best amongst rookies. You have to control him and get Joe going. And then that'll help to protect the quarterback. Oakland's running game, they've only allowed their quarterback to be sacked 12 times because of it, tied for third fewest in the NFL. They have a +8 ratio, which is tied for 8th best in the NFL in the sack department. Bengals defense only has 10 quarterback sacks, dead last in the league now. Going to have to start cranking up that pressure. They're -21 in the sack ratio, second worst in the NFL. Protect your quarterback and pressure the other team's quarterback. And then third down. Going to have to do a good job on third down. Get the Raiders on a lot of third and long situations because Carr's been unbelievable, completing over 68%, 9.5 yards per attempt, second best in the league. 10 of his 14 touchdowns are on third down, #1 in the NFL. No interceptions on third down, tied for fewest in the NFL, obviously. +10 touchdown interception ratio on third down. Quarterback rating of 138.1, best in the NFL on third down. Can't let Carr make plays against you on third down.
That's going to do it for this week's show. For Lapp and our entire crew, I'm Dan Horde. We'll see you next week after the Pigskin Flies in Oakland. Bengals Weekly was brought to you in part by McDonald's. The greater Cincinnati area, McDonald's owner-operators are proud sponsors of the Cincinnati Bengals.